The giant ships appeared in the sky on a Tuesday morning. They hung over major cities across the world like dark clouds. People stopped and stared up at them. Cars pulled to the side of roads. Phone calls were forgotten mid-sentence. The world held its breath. In Washington, D.C., Captain Samuel Wright stood on the roof of the Earth Defense Force headquarters. His eyes were fixed on the massive vessel above. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built, at least 5 miles across. The surface gleamed with a metal unknown to Earth science. "Captain, you need to see this," said his second-in-command, Major Diane Russell. She held up a tablet showing strange signals being picked up worldwide. "Translation team making any progress?" asked Samuel, taking the tablet. "Yes, sir. They say it's some kind of mathematical sequence. Universal language attempt." Samuel nodded. Humanity had prepared for this moment for decades, but preparation and reality were very different things. He straightened his uniform and headed back, inside. In the command center, dozens of people worked at their stations. Screens displayed the alien ships, now numbering 27 in total. None had shown any aggressive actions, but the world's militaries were on high alert anyway. "We have a message coming through," announced a young communications officer. "It's in English?" The main screen flickered and showed a humanoid figure. It had pale blue skin, large oval eyes, and no visible hair. When it spoke, its thin lips barely moved. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Vorkal of the Galactic Council. We have observed your civilization for some time. We come to deliver judgment." A cold feeling formed in Samuel's stomach. He didn't like the word judgment. Your species has been deemed too aggressive and unpredictable to join galactic society without oversight. Your rapid technological advancement, coupled with your violent tendencies, presents an unacceptable risk. The room was completely silent now. Standard protocol would call for immediate placement under protectorate status, with limitations on your development and expansion. However, we recognize your potential. Therefore, the Council offers an alternative. The alien's face showed no emotion as it continued. "A contest of skill and strength. Your best warriors against our elite guardians. If you win, Earth will be recognized as a sovereign world with all rights of Council membership. If you lose, you accept protectorate status without resistance." Samuel exchanged glances with General Patricia Coleman, who had just entered the room. Her face was grim. "You have 3 of your Earth days to provide your answer. Choose wisely." The transmission ended. "Well," said General Coleman after a long pause, "that's that." Within hours, an emergency meeting of world leaders was called. Samuel found himself in a room with military commanders, scientists, and politicians, all trying to decide the fate of humanity. "We should accept their terms," argued the Russian representative. "If we refuse, they might just take what they want anyway." "How do we know they'll honor the agreement if we lose?" asked someone else. Dr. Olivia Martinez, head of the Global Xenobiology Initiative, spoke up. "From what little we know of advanced civilizations, ones that achieve interstellar travel typically have strong honor codes. If they wanted to simply conquer us, they wouldn't offer a challenge." Samuel listened as the debate continued. When asked for his opinion, he stood. "I believe we should accept," he said. "But we need to be smart about this. It's not just about picking our strongest fighters. We need to understand what we're up against." 3 days later, Samuel delivered Earth's answer to Ambassador Vorkal. "Humanity would accept the challenge." "A wise choice," said the alien. "You will have 3 months to prepare. The contest will be held in a location of our choosing. Your team will consist of 12 representatives. The rules will be provided 1 week before the event." After the transmission ended, Samuel's real work began. He was put in charge of assembling the team that would fight for Earth's freedom. His first choice surprised many. Lieutenant Daniel Clark had a troubled past. Once an Olympic athlete, he had joined the military after a personal tragedy. His record showed both exceptional skill and a problem with authority. He was currently serving a 30-day confinement for punching a superior officer. Samuel visited him in the brig. Let me get this straight, said Daniel after hearing Samuel's offer. Aliens want to fight us and you're picking me? I'm picking people who know how to adapt and overcome, replied Samuel. People who don't quit. Daniel ran a hand through his short brown hair. And if I say no? Then humanity might be controlled by aliens forever. No pressure. Daniel laughed despite himself. When you put it that way, when do we start? Over the next few days, the rest of the team came together. Dr. Martinez joined to provide scientific expertise. Lisa Brown, a brilliant engineer, was recruited to develop equipment. Gregory Smith, a chess grandmaster known for his unconventional strategies, was a surprise addition. 1 week after accepting the challenge, the first alien warriors arrived on Earth. They came to observe human training and prepare the battlefield. Their leader was Commander Zalthrak, nearly 8 feet tall with shoulders twice as wide as a human's. His skin had a metallic quality that seemed to shift colors in different lights. When Samuel first met him, the alien didn't offer a handshake or any greeting. He simply looked down at the human with golden eyes. Your species has heart, said Zalthrak. But heart doesn't win battles. You might be surprised what humans can do when our backs are against the wall, replied Samuel. The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. We have studied your history. You fight among yourselves over land, resources, ideas. You are divided and weak. Maybe that's what makes us strong, said Samuel. We're used to facing challenges. Are your warriors? For the first time, the alien commander seemed uncertain. As training began in the Mojave Desert facility, Dr. Martinez made an interesting discovery. She had been granted limited access to medical data on the alien species. Captain, look at this, she said, showing Samuel her findings. Their warriors are genetically engineered for combat, perfect in every way. That's not good news, Doctor. Actually, it might be. They're designed, not evolved. They've never experienced failure, never had to adapt to unexpected setbacks. Everything has always worked exactly as it should for them. Samuel considered this. And humans were messy, imperfect. But we've been overcoming our limitations since we climbed down from the trees. It's what we do best. As the first month of training ended, the world watched and waited. News programs showed clips of the human team preparing. Some people prayed, others built bunkers. Everyone understood what was at stake. Humanity's future would be decided not by diplomats or politicians, but by 12 ordinary people facing the strongest warriors a galaxy could produce. The odds seemed impossible, but as Samuel watched Daniel lead the team through another grueling exercise, he felt something he hadn't expected. Hope. Because if there was one thing humans knew how to do, it was beating impossible odds. The training facility in the Mojave Desert grew larger each day. What started as a few buildings and a practice field now covered 2 square miles. Tall fences surrounded the area. Guards patrolled day and night. The world's future was being decided here, and everyone knew it. Lieutenant Daniel Clark woke before sunrise each morning. He ran 5 miles through the desert while the air was still cool. His body was changing. He was stronger now, faster than he had been even during his Olympic days. But it wasn't enough. The aliens were still far superior. You're pushing yourself too hard, Dr. Olivia Martinez told him one morning as she checked his vitals. Her dark eyes showed concern behind her glasses. Not hard enough, Daniel replied, wiping sweat from his face. Have you seen what these aliens can do? Zalthrak lifted a 2-ton weight yesterday with one hand. Olivia nodded. I know, but we're not going to win by becoming stronger than them. That's impossible. Then how do we win? By being more human than they expect. The 12 team members trained together 6 hours each day. They were an unusual group. Some were soldiers like Daniel. Others were civilians with special skills. Gregory Smith, the chess master, often sat watching the others. His eyes missed nothing. Lisa Brown and Frank Taylor worked in a large workshop near the training grounds. They were building special suits to help the humans in battle. The suits couldn't match alien strength, but they might make the fight less one-sided. "Try this," Lisa said to Daniel, handing him an arm brace made of shiny metal. "It should increase your striking power by about 40%. Daniel put it on and hit a punching bag. The bag flew off its chain and hit the wall. "Not bad," he said with a small smile. Frank adjusted some settings on a tablet. "We're working on leg supports next. Should help with jumping and kicks." Captain Samuel Wright visited often to check on their progress. He watched the team train and met with the engineers. But his main job was dealing with the aliens who observed everything. Zalthrak and 3 other warriors lived in a separate building at the edge of the facility. They rarely spoke to the humans except during official meetings. But there was another alien who was different. Kelvari was smaller than the warriors. Her skin was a lighter blue, and her eyes showed more emotion. She was a diplomat, sent to make sure the rules were followed. "Your people work very hard," she said to Samuel one afternoon as they watched the training. "We're fighting for our freedom," he replied. "Wouldn't you do the same?" She seemed to consider this. "My people have been part of the council for 8,000 years. We don't remember a time when we weren't." Patricia Jones, the team's communications specialist, spent more time with Kelvari than anyone else. At first, it was just to learn about alien language and customs. But soon they began to talk about other things. "Why does the council think we're dangerous?" Patricia asked one day as they shared a meal. Kelvari tilted her head. "You advance quickly. Most species take thousands of years to discover what you have in just a few hundred, and you fight so much among yourselves." "Not all of us want to fight," Patricia said. "Many of us work for peace. That is, not how the council sees you." These conversations gave the humans valuable insights. They learned that the council warriors trained from birth for combat. They never failed because their training never allowed for failure. Everything was calculated, perfect. As the second month of training began, tensions rose. Some people on Earth didn't believe in the team. They thought humans should surrender now to avoid being destroyed later. A group called Human Future gained followers each day. "We can't win against beings who cross the stars," their leader said on global news. "The only sensible choice is to accept our place." These words worried Samuel. He knew some people might try to stop the contest. He ordered more guards around the facility. Despite the precautions, trouble came from inside. One night, alarms blared throughout the compound. Samuel rushed to the main building to find smoke filling the corridors. "What happened?" he demanded. "Explosion in the equipment room," a security officer reported. "We have 3 injured, and the aliens were meeting there." Samuel's heart sank. If the aliens were hurt in a human attack, the contest might be cancelled. Earth would lose by default. He ran toward the damaged area. Emergency teams were already working to put out fires. Through the smoke, he saw something unexpected. Alan Butler, the team's strategist, was helping an injured Kelvari walk to safety. Behind them, Daniel and Gregory carried a wounded alien, warrior between them. Zalthrak emerged from another doorway, his metallic skin darkened with soot. He looked at the humans helping his people and seemed confused. "Why do you assist us?" he asked Samuel. "The attack was from your kind." "Because not all humans think alike," Samuel replied. "Those who did this don't speak for Earth, and we don't leave anyone behind, not even our opponents." Later, they learned that a Human Future supporter had smuggled a bomb into the facility. The explosion had destroyed much of the special equipment Lisa and Frank had built. It would take weeks to replace. But something else happened that day. The aliens' view of humans began to change. Zalthrak watched as the team immediately went back to training, now with damaged facilities and less equipment. "Your people don't give up easily," he said to Daniel during a rare moment when they were both taking a break. "It's kind of our thing," Daniel replied. "When things get hard, humans get stubborn." The alien commander made a sound that might have been respect. Dr. Martinez worked day and night studying alien biology. She found small weaknesses that might help in battle. The warriors' joints were vulnerable. Their reflexes, while fast, followed predictable patterns. They're perfect, she told the team. But perfect can be predictable, and predictable can be beaten. As the final month of preparation began, the team felt the weight of the world on their shoulders. They trained harder than ever before. Each person focused on their specific skills. Daniel led physical combat training. Gregory taught strategy. Patricia shared what she had learned about alien psychology. Lisa and Frank worked miracles, rebuilding their equipment better than before. The new suits were lighter and stronger. "We've done all we can," Lisa said, as she fitted Daniel with the final version of his combat suit. "The rest is up to you guys." On the night before they were to leave for the contest location, Samuel gathered the team. "Tomorrow, we face the greatest challenge humanity has ever known," he said. "I won't lie to you. The odds are against us." He looked at each face in turn. These 12 ordinary people who carried the hopes of billions. But odds don't decide battles. People do. And I believe in you. Gregory Smith, usually quiet, spoke up. "Captain, when I play chess, I don't try to match my opponent move for move. I change the game." Samuel nodded. "That's exactly what we need to do. Change the game." As they prepared to leave the next morning, news came that the contest would be broadcast worldwide. Every human on Earth would watch their species fight for its future. The team boarded a transport plane. As it lifted off, Daniel looked down at the desert facility where they had trained for 3 months. "Ready or not," he whispered, "here we come." The arena was like nothing the humans had ever seen. It sat in the middle of a vast plain surrounded by mountains. The structure looked like a giant bowl made of a strange blue-white material that shimmered in the sunlight. It could hold 50,000 people, but today it would be empty except for the contestants and a few officials. The human team stepped off their transport and looked around in wonder. Above them, floating cameras would broadcast everything to Earth and across the galaxy. Daniel felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders as he led the team toward the entrance. Inside, they found a large room filled with equipment. There were weapons of all kinds, though none that used bullets or explosives. The rules allowed for bladed weapons, staffs, and other simple tools. "Choose wisely," Samuel advised. "Remember what we practiced." A door opened on the far side of the room. Commander Zalthrak entered with his team of warriors. They were all similar in height and build, though their skin colors varied from deep blue to greenish gray. They wore minimal armor, confident in their natural strength. Ambassador Vorkal appeared on a floating platform above them. His voice echoed throughout the arena. "The rules are simple. 5 one-on-one battles, followed by team contests. The side that wins the majority will be declared victor. Each individual battle ends when one fighter surrenders or is unable to continue." The ambassador gestured to a large board that appeared in the air. "The first match will be Linda Howard against Drez Carr." Linda stepped forward. She was a former Special Forces soldier, small but quick. Her opponent was one of the largest warriors with skin that looked like armor plates. He stood nearly 9 feet tall. "I wanted the little one," Drez Carr said with a sound like grinding metal. "This will be quick." The floor of the arena changed, forming hills, valleys, and obstacles. Linda studied the terrain as she prepared herself. She wore one of Lisa's lightweight suits under her uniform. It wouldn't make her as strong as the alien, but it might help her survive long enough to find an advantage. When the signal came, Drez Carr charged forward with surprising speed. Linda didn't try to meet his attack. Instead, she rolled to the side and ran toward a cluster of rock formations. The alien followed, smashing through obstacles that Linda had to navigate around. "Running only delays your defeat," the alien called. Back in the preparation room, the rest of the team watched on screens. Samuel sat with Dr. Martinez analyzing every move. "She's smart," Olivia said. "She's making him work in this heat. Look at his movements. They're already slowing." Linda led the alien on a chase around the arena. Each time he nearly caught her, she would slip away, often forcing him to climb or jump. After 15 minutes, the alien's movements became less fluid. He was breathing heavily. "Alien physiology isn't designed for extended exertion," Olivia explained to the team. They're built for power, not endurance. Linda seemed to realize this too. She began to engage in brief exchanges, striking at the aliens' joints before dancing away again. Her attacks seemed to do little damage, but she was persistent. 20 minutes into the match, Drezkar roared in frustration. He charged at Linda, who waited until the last moment to sidestep. The alien's momentum carried him into a rock wall. As he turned, Linda was already moving. She had a small device in her hand that she pressed against the back of the alien's knee, where Dr. Martinez had identified a weakness in their armor-like skin. A jolt of electricity shot through the alien warrior. He fell to one knee, then toppled over. He tried to rise but couldn't make his leg work properly. "The match is over," declared the ambassador. "Linda Howard is the winner." Silence filled the arena. Then a cheer erupted from the human team. They had won the first battle. On screens around the world, people celebrated. The alien warriors looked stunned. They gathered around their fallen comrade, expressions of disbelief on their faces. "How?" Drezkar asked as he was helped to his feet. "How did a human defeat me?" Linda was breathing hard, her face covered in sweat. "By not fighting the way you expected." The second and third matches didn't go as well for the humans. The aliens adapted their strategy, not giving the humans time to tire them out. Even with the special suits, the human fighters couldn't match the aliens' raw power. Both matches ended quickly with human defeats. The mood in the preparation room was grim. Samuel tried to keep spirits up. "We're down 2-1, he said. "But we're not out. Gregory, you're next." Gregory Smith stood. The chess grandmaster didn't look like a warrior. He was thin, with glasses and a thoughtful face. His opponent would be Mevloth, an alien with telepathic abilities. "Remember the plan," Samuel said. "Don't try to outfight him." Gregory nodded and entered the arena. The terrain had changed again, now forming a simple flat circle with nowhere to hide. Mevloth waited in the center, his large eyes fixed on the human. "I can sense your thoughts, human," the alien said. "I know your moves before you make them." Gregory showed no reaction. He walked forward slowly, his mind racing. The alien tilted his head, confused. "What are you doing?" Mevloth asked. Gregory didn't answer. In his mind, he was playing chess, not one game, but dozens simultaneously. He calculated moves and countermoves, creating a maze of possibilities. The alien's confusion grew. He was trying to read Gregory's intentions, but there were too many competing thoughts. It was like trying to listen to 100 conversations at once. Gregory moved suddenly, stepping to the right. The alien moved to intercept, but Gregory was already changing direction. For several minutes, this strange dance continued. The human never struck a blow, but the alien became increasingly disoriented. "Your mind," Mevloth said, his voice strained. "It's too chaotic." "That's the human mind for you," Gregory replied calmly. "We contain multitudes." The alien put his hands to his head. His telepathic abilities, usually an advantage, had become a weakness. Gregory's mind was overwhelming him with possibilities, contradictions, and rapid changes. Finally, Mevloth stumbled. I cannot continue. The noise in your mind is too much." "Mevloth has surrendered," announced the ambassador. "Gregory Smith is the winner." The human team couldn't believe it. 2 victories against the galaxy's elite warriors. In the observation booth, Captain Samuel Wright noticed something important. He quickly called Daniel. "The aliens fight with perfect form," he said, "but they don't adapt well to the unexpected. They follow patterns they've been taught. When those patterns fail, they struggle." Daniel understood. "So for the final match, be unpredictable," Samuel finished. "Be human." The score was tied at 2 wins each. Daniel would face Commander Zalthrak in the deciding individual battle. The fate of humanity would rest on his shoulders. As he prepared to enter the arena, Patricia approached with a message from Kelveri. "She says to remember that even the strongest tree can be broken if it doesn't bend with the wind." Daniel nodded. He understood what it meant. The aliens' strength was also their weakness. They were too rigid, too perfect. He stepped into the light of the arena, ready to face the alien commander. The final battle was about to begin. Daniel walked to the center of the arena where Commander Zalthrak waited. The alien stood nearly 3 feet taller than him. His metallic skin reflected the light, making him look like a statue made of living metal. "You fight well for a human," Zalthrak said, "but you will not defeat me." Daniel didn't reply. He was focused on his breathing, on staying calm. The special suit from Lisa and Frank hummed softly against his skin. It would help, but not enough to match the alien's natural strength. In the preparation room, Dr. Olivia Martinez had just made an important discovery. She rushed to Samuel with her tablet. "Captain, look at this," she said, showing him data on the alien warriors. "Their genetic engineering is perfect, too perfect." "What do you mean?" Samuel asked. "They've never faced true failure. Their training, their entire lives are designed to prevent it. They've never had to overcome real adversity." Samuel understood. Immediately. Unlike humans who face it every day. He tried to get this message to Daniel, but it was too late. The battle had begun. Zalthrak moved with incredible speed for his size. His first blow caught Daniel in the chest, sending him flying backward. The human landed hard but immediately rolled to his feet. Daniel knew he couldn't match the aliens' power. Instead, he focused on movement, circling around and looking for openings. Each time the commander attacked, Daniel would dodge or deflect rather than block directly. "You cannot win by running," Zalthrak said. "Not trying to run," Daniel replied. "Just waiting. For what?" "For you to make a mistake," the alien commander laughed. "I do not make mistakes." For several minutes, the fight continued this way. Daniel would dart in, land a quick strike, then move away before the alien could counter. His attacks seemed to have little effect on the commander's metallic skin, but Daniel kept at it. Then Zalthrak changed tactics. He stopped pursuing and instead stood in the center of the arena. "Enough games," he said. "Face me directly or concede." Daniel knew this was dangerous, but he had no choice. He moved in closer, exchanging blows with the alien. Even with his suit enhancing his strength, the force of Zalthrak's attacks was overwhelming. A powerful hit caught Daniel on the side of his head. He went down, his vision blurry. The alien commander stood over him. "You fought well," Zalthrak said, "but this contest is over." Daniel could hear Samuel's voice in his earpiece. "Get up, Daniel. Remember what Dr. Martinez discovered. They've never had to face failure. They don't know how to handle it." With great effort, Daniel pushed himself up. Blood ran down his face from a cut above his eye. His ribs felt broken and his left arm wasn't working right. But he stood. Zalthrak looked surprised. "You can barely stand. Why continue?" "Because that's what humans do," Daniel said through gritted teeth. "We get knocked down. We get up again." The fight resumed. Daniel was slower now, injured and tired. The alien landed blow after blow. Each time Daniel fell, the audience watching from Earth expected it to be over. And each time, somehow, he got back up. "Stay down," Zalthrak commanded after a particularly hard hit sent Daniel rolling across the arena floor. Daniel coughed, tasting blood. He could see the confusion in the alien's eyes. This wasn't following the pattern the commander had expected. In all his training, opponents stayed down when beaten. "Humans," Daniel said as he struggled to his feet once more, "are stubborn that way." The next exchange went differently. As Zalthrak moved in for what should have been a finishing blow, Daniel didn't try to dodge. Instead, he moved forward, directly into the attack. The alien, not expecting this, hesitated for just a fraction of a second. That moment was all Daniel needed. He trapped the alien's arm, using the commander's own momentum and strength against him. It was a move they had practiced for weeks, designed specifically for this moment. The technique cost Daniel several broken ribs as the force transferred through his body. But it also caused Zalthrak to lose his balance for the first time in the match. The commander fell to one knee. Before the alien could recover, Daniel locked his arm in a submission hold. It was a position Dr. Martinez had identified as particularly effective against their physiology. The commander tried to stand, to break free, but the hold was perfect. Submit, Daniel gasped, his body screaming in pain but his grip firm. Zalthrak struggled. I cannot be defeated by a human. Yet here we are. For several tense moments they remained locked together. Then slowly the alien commander tapped the ground 3 times with his free hand, the universal signal of surrender. The match is over, declared Ambassador Vorkal, his voice betraying his shock. Daniel Clark is the winner. Humans have won the individual contests. The human team erupted in cheers. Around the world, people celebrated in streets and homes. They had done it. They had beaten the galaxy's elite warriors. But Daniel could barely stand. Medical teams rushed to the arena floor. Human doctors worked, alongside alien healers to treat both fighters. As Daniel was being carried out on a stretcher, Zalthrak approached him. How? The alien commander asked. How did you continue after sustaining such damage? Daniel managed a small smile despite his pain. That's the secret you missed about humans. We're not designed to be perfect. We're designed to endure. In the medical bay, Dr. Martinez confirmed what they had suspected. The alien warriors, for all their physical superiority, had a critical weakness. They've never experienced true failure, she explained to Samuel as they watched Daniel being treated. Their entire lives are engineered for success. When something doesn't work as expected, they don't know how to adapt. Unlike humans, Samuel said, who face failure every day and learn from it. Kelvari, the alien diplomat, had been watching the human team closely. She approached Patricia Jones with a troubled expression. Your friend should have lost, she said. By every measure we use, he was outmatched. Patricia nodded. By your measures, yes. But there's something about humans you can't measure. Call it spirit or determination or just plain stubbornness. The council will not be pleased, Kelvari said. They expected a different outcome. Then perhaps the council should reconsider how they judge other species. The victory celebration was brief. Ambassador Vorkal announced that while humans had won the individual contests, the final team challenge would still determine Earth's ultimate fate. The rules have changed, he told them. Tomorrow both teams will face the final test together. Samuel was suspicious. What kind of test? A survival challenge, the ambassador replied. Your team and the remaining alien warriors must navigate a labyrinth filled with the most dangerous creatures and environments in the galaxy. Those who emerge will decide the fate of Earth. Daniel, bandaged and bruised but refusing to stay in, Bed joined the team meeting to discuss this new challenge. They're changing the rules because we're winning, he said. Samuel nodded. Probably, but we'll face this challenge like we faced the others, together. As the team prepared for the final test, Gregory Smith shared an observation. In chess, he said, when an opponent changes strategies suddenly, it's usually because they're desperate. We've shown them something they didn't expect. We've shown them humanity. That night, as Earth waited anxiously for the final challenge, Daniel looked up at the stars through a window. Somewhere out there was the Galactic Council watching and judging. Tomorrow would decide if humans would join the galactic community as equals or become subjects. We've come too far to lose now, he whispered to himself. Too far to give up. Morning came too quickly. The human team gathered at the entrance to the labyrinth. It was a massive structure built into the side of a mountain. Dark mist swirled around its entrance, making it impossible to see what lay inside. Daniel stood at the front of the group despite his injuries from yesterday's battle. His body was wrapped in bandages, and he moved with obvious pain, but his eyes were clear and determined. Remember the plan, he said to the team. We stay together. We watch each other's backs. The alien warriors arrived, led by Commander Zalthrak. He too showed signs of yesterday's fight, with a stiffness to his movements that hadn't been there before. Ambassador Vorkal appeared on his floating platform. The rules of this final challenge are simple. Both teams must navigate the labyrinth and reach the exit on the other side. You will face dangers from across the galaxy. How you choose to face them will determine the final judgment of humanity. The mist at the entrance parted, revealing a dark tunnel leading downward. Without waiting for the humans, the alien warriors entered first. Should we follow them? Linda Howard asked. Daniel shook his head. No, we go our own way. The human team entered the labyrinth. They moved slowly, carefully, with Gregory Smith mapping their path. The walls were made of a strange material that seemed to absorb light. The air was cold and damp. After about 20 minutes, they heard sounds ahead, screeching and the clash of metal. They rounded a corner to find two of the alien warriors fighting strange creatures that looked like a mix between spiders and lizards. The creatures were fast, darting in to bite before retreating. We should help them, Lisa Brown said. Some of the team looked unsure. These were their opponents, after all. Lisa's right, Daniel decided. We help. The human team joined the battle. With their combined efforts, they drove the creatures back into the darkness. The alien warriors looked at the humans with confusion. Why did you assist us? One asked. Because it was the right thing to do. Daniel replied simply. The two groups separated again, each taking different paths through the maze. The humans encountered more challenges. Poisonous plants that sprayed toxins, a room where gravity suddenly reversed, a narrow bridge over what seemed to be an endless pit. Each time, they worked together to overcome the obstacle. Dr. Martinez identified the plants. Frank figured out how to navigate the reverse gravity room. Patricia found the hidden mechanism that stabilized the bridge. 2 hours into the challenge, they felt a rumble. The walls shook and dust fell from the ceiling. Earthquake? Alan Butler suggested. I don't think so, Gregory said, studying his map. This section of the labyrinth isn't stable. It's designed to collapse. As if to confirm his words, a loud crack echoed through the tunnel. Part of the ceiling came down just ahead of them. They heard shouts and the sound of falling rocks from a parallel tunnel. The aliens are trapped, Daniel realized. He pressed his ear to the wall. There's a tunnel on the other side and it's caving in. The team exchanged glances. They could continue forward, leaving the aliens behind. It would guarantee their victory. What do we do? Alan asked. Daniel didn't hesitate. We help them. Using the tools they had brought and their combined strength, the humans began breaking through the wall separating the tunnels. It was hard work, and more of the ceiling collapsed as they progressed. Finally, they created an opening large enough to see through. On the other side, 3 alien warriors were trapped, including Zalthrak. 2 were pinned by fallen debris, and the commander was trying unsuccessfully to free them. Step back, Daniel called to the alien. We're coming through. The humans widened the hole and moved into the alien's tunnel. Working together, they used Lisa and Frank's equipment to stabilize the ceiling and lift the heavy stones trapping the warriors. As they worked, another tremor shook the labyrinth. More of the ceiling began to fall. We need to move, Gregory warned. This whole section is coming down. Daniel looked at Zalthrak. Can your warriors walk? Yes, the commander replied. But the path ahead is blocked. We cannot continue. Then come with us. Our tunnel is still open. The aliens followed the humans back through the hole they had made. Together, the combined group moved quickly through the labyrinth as the collapse continued behind them. Dr. Martinez noticed one of the aliens limping badly. Without being asked, she began treating its injuries. The alien watched her with curious eyes. Why do you help an opponent? It asked. Because you're hurt, she replied simply. And I'm a doctor before. I'm a competitor. The mixed group continued through the labyrinth, facing more challenges together. When they encountered a room filled with poisonous gas, Lisa and Frank quickly modified their breathing equipment to work for both humans and aliens. When a pack of predatory creatures attacked, the aliens used their superior strength to protect the injured humans. Finally, they saw light ahead. The exit was near, but one final obstacle remained, a deep chasm with only a narrow, unstable bridge. It would clearly only support one person at a time. We need to hurry, Gregory said, checking his map. According to my calculations, the whole labyrinth will collapse soon. One by one, they began crossing. Each person moved carefully across the swaying bridge. When Daniel's turn came, He struggled due to his injuries. The bridge creaked dangerously beneath him. Halfway across, he slipped. He would have fallen if not for Zalthrak, who had insisted on crossing with him despite the danger. The alien commander caught him, and together they made it to the other side. When everyone had crossed safely, they emerged from the labyrinth into sunlight. Ambassador Vorkal was waiting with other council officials. They looked surprised to see humans and aliens emerge together. "This is unexpected," the ambassador said. "You were meant to compete, not cooperate." Daniel stepped forward, standing beside Zalthrak. "We chose to help each other instead. That was not the test we designed." "Maybe it should have been," Zalthrak replied, surprising everyone. "The humans could have left us to die. They chose differently." Kelveri stepped forward from among the council representatives. "This is what I've been trying to explain. Humans aren't just unpredictable in battle. They're unpredictable in compassion too." The council members spoke among themselves, in hushed tones. Finally, the ambassador addressed the group again. "The purpose of this challenge was never about combat prowess," he admitted. "It was to determine if humans possess the qualities necessary for galactic citizenship. Your choice to save your opponents, rather than secure an easy victory, has proven something unexpected." A new hologram appeared above them, showing the entire competition being broadcast across the galaxy. "The Council has made its decision," the ambassador announced. "Earth will be recognized as a full member world. Humans have earned their place among the stars." Cheers erupted from around the world as people watched the announcement. The human team embraced each other, hardly believing they had succeeded. Later, as the team prepared to return to Earth, Zalthrak approached Daniel. "You could have won easily, by leaving us behind," the commander said. "Why didn't you?" Daniel smiled. "Because winning that way wouldn't have been human." Captain Samuel Wright watched as the alien delegation and the human team departed together for the Council homeworld. Earth would send representatives to join the galactic community, and aliens would come to Earth to learn and teach. "We didn't win by becoming stronger than them," Samuel said to himself. "We won by being uncompromisingly human." In the years that followed, humans joined peacekeeping forces throughout the galaxy. Their unique perspective, shaped by adversity and compassion alike, changed how the Council approached many issues. The species they had once feared became valuable allies, and it all began with 12 ordinary people who showed the galaxy what humanity truly meant.